welcome to another episode. Well, this is part 2 of our look at some of the areas of the Shipwreck coast. But just before we get into part 2, something I want to tell you about. When we're doing these walks in areas of the bush, we're always looking out for wildlife of some kind that we can include in the video for you. Haven't found too much of it lately. I suppose we have seen some snakes.
We have, and we did get to see a blue tongue lizard when we were around the London Bridge area, but it was too quick for us, so we couldn't.
That's right. I didn't have a chance to get the video going in time, and the lizard crawled off into the distance, into the bush, before I had the video going.
But you know what happened, Graham?
Yeah, this is the story I was going to tell. Do you want to tell the story?
Okay. What happened was a friend came to visit, and as she's pulling up in our driveway, she says, "Oh, you've got a blue tongue lizard on your front nature strip."
Yeah, so this is on the nature strip at our place at home in town.
In town, that's correct. So out we went and had a look, and sure enough, there's about approximately 18-inch blue tongue lizard, very, very happy sitting on the nature strip. So we decided that we should protect it, because if it had gone into the main road outside of our house, it would have been killed. So we were able to place it into a bucket, and then decided we better find somewhere safe to place it. So some friends of ours up the road have a fairly big block with a lot of bush land around it. So we went up, knocked on the door, and they were very happy to accommodate this little fella. So that's where his new home is.
So he crawled off into the bush to live happily ever after.
He sure did. And I tell you what, it was a bit scary to start with when we put him in the bush, because from the distance he actually looked a bit like a tiger snake. So he had the same markings as a tiger snake. But very happy little fella once he was able to get back in his home territory.
So there you wouldn't read about it. We're looking for them here when we're doing the bushwalks, and there we are at home in town, and there's one on the nature strip, for goodness sake. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, when we left the last episode, we're on our way to Thunder Cave, and the day we were there was a very calm day. So the water is not really thundering into the cave. You'll see that when we show you the vision. When you go there on a rough day, obviously the waves are going to be really thundering in. You'll get the full effect. So it's a pity it was a quiet day. It was an ideal day weather-wise for being out and doing the filming. Beautiful colours and everything like that. But the waves were fairly quiet. Now, Eve, you're holding my notes, but you're not showing me what they are. Eva's meant to be holding the notes out of sight there, but she's sort of got them screwed up in her hands. Not much help, is it? Thank you. So, when we left the last episode, we're having a bit of a disagreement about the name, Muttonbird Island Lookout, and it looks like the score was Ev 1, Graham 0.
I don't think that 0 will ever change for you, Graham.
Thank you very much. So, without further ado, let's join episode 2 now, where we continue, and we're on our way to Thunder Cave. So this is the walking track that takes us to the blowholes. Thunder Cave. I think we need our multi-purpose stick to make a bit of noise and make sure we scare the snakes away. You reckon we'll see any today?
Well, we might, Graham. A bit worried about that.
Seem to attract them.
This is the Shipwreck River, which flows into the ocean, just not far from Thunder Cave. It's where I used to come swimming as a little girl.
We're looking now at the 12 Apostles, because the 12 Apostles is only about 4 kilometres down the road from the Loch Gorge. And if you haven't been here before, the car park for the Loch Gorge, the 12 Apostles viewing area, is on the opposite side of the road to the sea. So from whichever direction you come, you turn away from the sea, you go into the car park, and then there's a tunnel. You walk through the tunnel that goes under the road, and that takes you to the 12 Apostles viewing area. We're looking at London Bridge, and it's amazing to think that where the Great Gap is, there used to be a proper bridge, more or less, a rock bridge, didn't it?
It was. There was a span joining those two pieces, and it was something that was a real novelty. People would walk out to the end. A lot of people would actually take their fishing rod and cast a line. And as it happened, the day that that span collapsed, there were two people on the outer part of the bridge, so to speak, and had to be rescued.
Yes, by helicopter, I think. They spent a couple of hours out there, didn't they?
They did.
And you told me your dad used to do some fishing out on the end.
Yes, he did, with his friends, and quite a few people fished from the top. Obviously very risky to do that, but it was something that was a beautiful place to be able to stand and fish and look at the beautiful scenery around them.
Well, I can remember going there with a couple of friends of the family, friends of your family, some kids, and we actually kicked a football out there. And another silly thing I did, where the bridge part was, when it was still intact, I actually jumped up and down just for fun, not realising that one day it was really going to collapse and wouldn't be there. So there it is, London Bridge. Well, it's time to say farewell now from the Great Ocean Road in southwest Victoria. We've mainly wanted to show you the Loch Gorge today, and we've also put in a few other quick highlights of some of the other things to see, but we do plan to come back here sometime again in the future when it's not too busy and have another look at some of the features. You're trying to get a word in again.
I was just going to say we just couldn't miss out on the Grotto. That's one of our favourite spots, so I'm glad we had a chance to show you that beautiful location.
And that's all from the Ocean Road, and we'll see you in the next episode.